I shot a Sig 320 all week, and I'm here to talk about it. If you've been following me on Instagram, I've been posting pictures and video of SIGs I'm shooting. Why am I posting this on Instagram? Because I think it's kind of fun. So I've been hammering on the 320s for a while now and hammering on SIG. But the way it works for me is when I travel around and I go to different places, I'm going to end up using a lot of different guns. So me shooting a 320, it's not an endorsement of the gun, and I don't hate the gun. I just wouldn't necessarily tell people to buy them. But because I thought people might be curious, I want to talk about the SIGs that I was shooting and my experience with them. So I don't have one to show you with me. There's some legal issues where I am now, so I don't have one to show you. But the 320s we're shooting are modified a little bit from factory. At the time that these guys I'm shooting with got the guns in, they were doing some testing. The story I was told, and I believe it, the story I was told is that one of them went off in the holster and injured a guy. So they took all their new SIGs. Before issuing them out to their guys, they took them and quarantined them to try to figure out the problem. They say they reproduced it with like a dozen guns, their armorers did, and what they decided, there's something internal with the striker and the trigger system. I don't know what exactly, but they ended up changing triggers to an aftermarket trigger and changing some other internals, and now have deemed the gun safe for use. The guns that we're using have Delta Point Pro sights, mag wells on them, and the trigger is like a Apex thing with the trigger safety. The trigger's not very good. It's not lighter. It's actually, I think, a little heavier than the stock triggers, with a long throw and a long reset. But I didn't see any go off in the holster, so I was happy with that. Anyway. What do I think of the SIGs after shooting them a lot this week? I'm like, they're pretty mid, to be honest. They're pretty mid. Now, let's talk about the bad things. The gun is not very reliable, the ones that we were shooting. And I think a lot of that's due to the ammo. So we're shooting this frangible ammo that's a little bit long, and it's not super hot. So, it makes like 130 power factor in USPSA terms, but it's not that hot. I think the gun's like hotter ammo than that. But even so, there shouldn't have been as many stoppages as there were, and they shouldn't have been so easy to reproduce. I mean, if I hold the gun loose and shoot it, it'll malfunction literally every time, which I didn't really care for. Now, the ergonomics, I actually kind of like the feel of the pistol in my hands. It's just weird. So normally with a striker-fired pistol, I'm going to hold it relatively high up. I'm going to hook my hand around a little bit and use the first joint of my trigger finger. Now with the SIGs, my hand's going to be down lower using more of the pad. It just feels strange to be that low on the gun. And that was my experience, and a lot of other guys' experience too. If you have about like average sized hands, that seems to be the best way to hold those things to pull the trigger straight. Now, what did I like about the gun? The gun actually very accurate. So, the thing, we're shooting very, very tight groups, even at distance. That was a little different than some of the other 320s I've shot. I considered these guns to be very accurate. And as far as drawing them and reloading them, they were a breeze for that. So like the manual of arms, super easy with the gun. Just really not much else to recommend it. So there you go. There's the my thoughts on the SIG. And it is interesting. I see all these comments where it's like people think that I think that shooting one of those things you're gonna like blow your hand up or something. For as many times as I've seen a SIG grenade and like the side of the gun blow off, I've never seen anybody get hurt by it. And I've personally witnessed that quite a few times. Now, another question I got in regards to the SIGs, especially from USPSA people, they're saying, hey, have you seen the SIG 320 Max? I think the special edition Max Michel guns blow up. Have you seen those blow up? And let me tell you what happened. Last week I had a guy in class. He was shooting a nice new CZ, and he said, yeah, I was shooting my 320 with factory ammo, with S&B ammo, which I consider to be very good ammo. It's a little bit hot for competition shooting, but it's good ammo. And he had his SIG blow up, and he called up SIG, and they said, no, it's the ammo is the problem. So he's done buying those. He said SIG's a 4-letter word in his household now. But one of his friends in a different state blew up his SIG 320 Max shooting factory ammo as well. So yep, those do occasionally blow up, I guess. So there you go. I shot a SIG all week. I didn't die. On balance, the gun's pretty mid. There you go. Not much else to say about it.